Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with our Friday review, one of my favorite shows to record of the Cabral concept. That is because I get to bring you all sorts of different things that I love from the health and wellness-based realm. I always do a product review or a book review that I think that you should know about, things that I also use with myself and my family, like one I'll be sharing today that I use with my kids. I'll be going over the herb of the week this week. We only have a couple weeks left for our herb of the week on our Fridays. We'll be doing a podcast recap to see if you missed anything from this past week. I've got 2 research studies that you need to know about, one on Alzheimer's and dementia and how to figure it out 2 decades earlier to see what path you are on, because remember, Alzheimer's is preventable. Then I also have one for children with ADD, ADHD, clinically proven, easy to be able to help. And again, I want to just share with you the clinical research, published research, peer-reviewed of what exactly works. All right, so before we get into all of those amazing things, let's do a little recap. I'm going to actually keep this quick, and here's why. I'll probably do a whole podcast on this, but over the past, I know this is going back now about a week or so, but we did the Integrative Health Practitioner live event in Florida, and we had 200 integrative health practitioners and many of my team members there as well. I have to just say this, that for those that were there, and I know that there are many tens of thousands of people who listen to the show each day, and I truly appreciate that, it was the most powerful event I've ever been to. Now, again, it wasn't because I was there speaking the whole time. I had so many brilliant speakers speaking at the event. I only spoke twice. And what made it so special and so amazing was that 200 people who are often considered the strange ones in their life. They're the people who try to do things the natural way. They try to eat well, shop healthy, buy organic when they can, move their body, work on their mindset, do all of these things. Well, all of those people came together. And when they come together from all different walks of life, but they share that one thing in common, literally like magical things happen. Instant relationships, friendships, all these things took place. And the stories of transformation that I heard, people being sick for 25 years, 27 years, a decade, marriages being saved, relationships, reconnected. It was unbelievable. One woman who's been a mentee of mine was able to figure out what it was that was affecting her daughter so much and why she was in the hospital and not doing well. And she was able to figure it out from, again, a lot of the teachings inside of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. So I just have to say, again, like it's not even really possible to describe with words. And I'm so almost emotionally spent and overwhelmed from those 3 days of connecting that I still haven't fully processed it yet. All I can say, though, is that I truly appreciate everyone in this community, and just having those 200 people there and hearing their stories and what we are all doing as part of this global health community was truly heartwarming. I have no words. I really don't. It was, and for me not to have any words, it really says something. So I just thank you. And for everyone that wasn't able to attend, I don't know if it will ever be the same, but we're going to do it again next year. And I have a feeling that it's going to be as good, maybe even better, as we bring even more people into the community. So thank you so much again for everyone that attended, but everyone who's even just a part of this community and sharing the message of hope and healing. That's what it's all about. So thank you. All right. Let's now get to our podcast recap of the week on Monday's show, Create What You Wish Existed. Now, I love the title. I love that. And I love the philosophy behind it, because a lot of times I think when we're younger or maybe less experienced, we wish for life to be easier. But then we realize it's actually not about having an easier life. It's about being strong enough and creating a strong enough individual in you who's able to handle all those life's challenges, but not only do that, thrive and do even more. So check out that show, episode 2460. All of these shows can be found at stephencabral.com/podcast. The next show, which is on Tuesday, again, these shows couldn't be any more different, which is why I love doing my show, the Cabral Concept, because I can talk about all these different things, but again, they all relate to natural health. The Raw Honey Challenge. If you've never heard about the Raw Honey Challenge, well, I would check out that show. Then Wednesday's show is the 5 foods that make allergies worse. We've been really talking a lot about allergies this fall-based season, and so I just want to make sure you have everything that you need and know in order to improve allergies, asthma, etc. And then yesterday's show is the benefits of an Ayurvedic Khichdi cleanse. If you've never heard about a Khichdi cleanse and the certain ingredients, there's only about 4 or 5 that go into the meal. You can check that out at stephencabral.com/podcast or directly at episode 2463. All right, all of today's, though, links and show notes, 3 big takeaways, product reviews, and research will be at stephencabral.com/2464. And the first I'd like to share with you, a lot of people have been asking about my children's immune protocol. All right, so one of the companies, I use 3 companies, and that's for my typical protocol. And I always used a liquid vitamin C. I always used a product called Natronex. Now that's discontinued. And I used one additional product. And I'm holding it right here in my hand. And it's called Sambucus by Nature's Way. And it's a standardized elderberry. But they have a lot of different ones. So I wanted to show you exactly what I use for my daughters. And it's the immune syrup. And it's not the children's version. So I just want you to show that. I use the adult version. I just use less of it. And that's because I want more of the stuff in it and less of all the different sweeteners in that. Now, it is a strong product, which is why when I use it, I would do 1 teaspoon of this, the Sambucus. I'm going to share what's in it in just a moment. 1 teaspoon of the liquid vitamin C and 1 of the Natronex. Now, why don't I talk about it in just a moment of what we're going to do. And then if it was a really challenging cold for one of my daughters, and again, I have to give you my disclaimer now, I'm not providing any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis. I would use 3 to 5 drops of the biocidin. And that's it. Like, that's what I would do for my daughters. And that's what I've always done. Now, there are other protocols I've used with them, of course, and I don't use this every day. I only use it for the duration, if they're getting a cold, or for the duration of the cold, plus I do an additional 2 days to make sure their immune system is still staying strong. All right. But again, maybe you're in a country that this company doesn't ship to, because this is not an Equalife product. Again, I recommend all brands that I use in my life. And this one has 100 milligrams of vitamin C for 2 teaspoons. So again, assume that this is 50% for children, because I'm using this for my daughters. You can use it for you as an adult if you'd like. I just don't use a lot of liquids as an adult. I just use capsules because I can get more in there. All right, so let's just say 1 teaspoon. I'm going to give you the dosage for 1 teaspoon. 50 milligrams of vitamin C, which is why I added more vitamin C, right? Because 50 milligrams of vitamin C is not a lot. So for my daughters, they get 250 milligrams when they're sick. So zinc is at 5 milligrams. The echinacea blend is at 478 milligrams, and the black elder is at 100 milligrams. Take half of that, that's 50. Now, keep in mind though, they are getting the full dosage because they're doing this twice a day, right? So they're just doing this once in the morning, typically with food, because zinc can make you nauseous and throw up. So they would always do this after breakfast, and they would do it after dinner. All right, so I do this twice a day so they get the full dosage. And of course, I mixed it with the extra vitamin C and the Natronex. Natronex is now gone. It's been discontinued. And so we need to then come up with another one. Again, I always tell you, I formulate for Equalife when the product that I want does not exist how I want it, right? Or it's too expensive from another company. And so we are going to be formulating a children's immune-based syrup, but it won't be out for at least 6 to 7, 8 months. And so I just wanted to share with you, this is exactly what I'll be using in that meantime with my daughters and always have, okay? So hopefully that is helpful. All right, so that's our product review of the week. Just keep in mind that I cannot link to any nutritional supplement products on my podcast. It is against FDA and FTC regulations, so we don't do it, all right? Because anytime you talk about diseases or whatever, then, only the almighty conventional medicine and pharmaceuticals are allowed to do that. So we are not part of that club, and so we can't do it. All right, this next one is our herb of the week. And it's actually, I love the host call questions on the weekend. I don't know if you do. I'd love to hear from you. We get a lot of people who say those are some of their favorite shows, and it's because it's answering real questions in the real world. Well, someone had a great question, and I just want to make sure that everybody heard it. What's the difference between GFSE drops versus GSE drops? Because it can look really confusing when you see the supplements, right? And what they are is they're both extracts, and they come from natural seeds, but two different things. So GFSE, the F is the difference, stands for grapefruit seed extract. And GSE is grape seed extract. And they do two totally different things. So please don't confuse them. We use grapefruit seed extract in the form of citricidal as part of our CBO protocol add-on if you're trying to rebalance healthy levels of yeast or bacteria in the gut. And we use it as part of our parasupport protocol and our H. pylori as well. Again, no treatment protocols, just underlying root cause imbalance, rebalancing. And so that's that. So we use it as an antimicrobial and a slight detoxifier, an antifungal, and an antibacterial. Not from a pharmaceutical standpoint, but these are, again, clinically proven to work, meaning scientific research behind it, which is why, of course, we use it, because natural health also uses real science, right? As much as conventional medicine tries to pretend like they own science, well, they don't, right? Science, if it's real science, can't be owned by anybody because it's empirical and you're constantly questioning it and you're putting it to the test. All right. So any citrus seed can be a very powerful detoxifier, antifungal, antimicrobial. Really, really powerful, all right? Like even citrus, like lemon seeds and those types of things, very, very powerful, all right? So you use those only for a short period of time. So for ours, we're using it for 3 weeks. That's it, 21 days, okay? All right, and again, that product's made by Naturopathy, by the way. Again, not an Ecolife-based product, but you can find it at stephencabral.com/shop because I always promote the best products in the world. All right, now grapeseed extract is something very different. I actually used grapeseed extract way back in the day, like when it was first having its heyday. And it is because it is a powerful antioxidant. And I had massive levels of inflammation in my body. And during my early to mid 20s, I'm like, oh, I would like to try this product. The only downside of that product is it's very, very expensive. But again, it's a potent product and it works. So let me just share with you some data on grape seed extract. Powerful antioxidant, squelches free radical damage, improves cardiovascular function, improves healthy levels of blood pressure, improves overall cognitive-based function, can help with potentially, again, I'm just saying this, like not making any claims, cancer as well. So if you are looking for a powerful antioxidant, grapeseed extract. If you're looking for a powerful antimicrobial, grapefruit seed extract. All right, both the seeds, one's from a grape, one's from grapefruit. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, thank you for humoring me there. The first research of the day is actually on much of what I'm going to be getting into. Please tell friends, family, anybody who wants to listen. I've told you this. If you've been a longtime listener of the Cabral concepts, you know that about 3-4 years ago, I said I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to shift a lot of what I teach to regenerative, anti-aging, longevity, high performance-based teaching. And the reason is that we have about 2,500 podcasts almost. And I teach on everything that you can imagine inside of a functional medicine-based practice, integrative health practice. Every autoimmune issue, every gut-based issue, every mental, physical-based issue out there. Excuse me. Even spiritual-based, as we talk about on the Mindset and Motivation Mondays. What I'm going to do probably close to once a week, it's obviously not every day, but close to once a week in 2023 is actually go deeper into the future of medicine. And I'm talking about take conventional medicine out of the equation and even take the ancient-based Ayurvedic and TCM out. We're going to be talking about cutting-edge-based things that you can do to live at least 20 years longer. So let me share with you this one. Okay, this was out of Nature Aging Journal, and it was done at Johns Hopkins University, Bloomberg School of Public Health in Baltimore. It was a study of 10,000 middle-aged and elderly people. Here's what they found, that there are 38 proteins that are associated with Alzheimer's disease that will show up in your blood if you're starting to get Alzheimer's 5 years early. Now, I have about a half a dozen shows on Alzheimer's. I share with you exactly what to do, not based on my research, well, my research of the research, that will actually stop and or reverse Alzheimer's. This is not made up. I'm not making any medical claims. I give you the legitimate PubMed articles and the entire protocol, all of it. If you ever can't find a show by searching at stephencabral.com/podcast, simply ask at cabralsupportgroup.com. It's free. You just post your question. 20,000 plus people there from around the world supporting each other, asking questions, giving advice. Okay? So our team will get you those questions, give you those shows. So 5 years is the minimum. Now, here's the thing. New research shows, and this is only going to get better and better. Excuse me, 16 of those proteins appear. I'm getting all choked up. So 16 of those proteins appear 20 years earlier. So if we think about like the average age of dementia or Alzheimer's, maybe it's going to be mid-60s to mid-70s. Okay, well, we're now able to look at mid-40s to maybe 50 years old, 16 of the 38 markers, and there will be more, of you starting to develop Alzheimer's. It's absolutely remarkable how quickly the science of anti-aging is coming. Just be careful who you listen to. There are a lot of people out there who like to cherry pick the research. I will never do that to you. I will share with you exactly the best of whatever we have: conventional medicine, natural health, naturopathic, chemistry-based research on what nutraceuticals work, what herbs work, like whatever it might be. Again, so like keep that in mind. All I'm trying to share with you is that the future of medicine is really here. It honestly is. Between biometric-based tracking, advanced blood work, at-home lab testing, and in the future, same day. I'm sure same day labs will be looking at. I'll be sharing with all of this with you in 2023. Stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. It really will. All right, so we're going to get into that, and I'll be sharing with you all the things that I'm doing as well, like complete real age testing on my biological age versus my real age, and much, much more. All right, so the last research study I want to share with you, this one is published in both Nature and on PubMed. Nature was the original place that it was published. And I wanted to share this with you because we have quite a few children, I should say, in our practice. So why don't I give you the PubMed version, but I'll link up the Nature journal as well. Actually, this excerpt is from Neurologia from England, but it's also, again, like I said, in Nature magazine, or should I say Nature journal. I'll share that with you too. So impulsiveness in children with attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder after an 8-week intervention with Mediterranean diet and or omega-3 fatty acids, a randomized clinical trial. So again, you want a randomized clinical trial. It's done with actual children. It was only 8 weeks long and they got results in just 8 weeks. It's absolutely amazing. So let me just share with you just the excerpt. Cross-sectional study, 60 children with ADHD. From Madrid, Spain. Children were divided into 4 groups. 1 is the control, nothing basically. 3 intervention groups. 1 was the Mediterranean diet, 1 omega-3 supplementation, and 1 omega-3s plus supplementation. A personalized Mediterranean diet was designed for members of groups 2 and 4. And let's just see what we found. The results. The supplementation group showed a fairly significant decrease in total, let's just call it impulsiveness, because it's on the Barrett impulsiveness scale, okay? Total cognitive score slightly decreased in the diet and supplement groups. Only the control group showed a considerable decrease in total motor score. Total non-planning scores were lower in all groups after the intervention. Baseline and the final impulsiveness scores were positively correlated with treatments. Okay, so again, all 3 treatments worked. Let me just give you, I'll cut right to the chase. The diet and supplementation worked the best. And here's exactly what they gave them, just in case you want to copy it. An intake of 550 milligrams of EPA to 225 milligrams of DHA, fatty acids, so omega-3s, for 8 weeks associated with less marked impulsive behavior in children with ADHD. A Mediterranean diet may improve the impulsive score, although our results are not conclusive in this population. Okay, so basically it says this. Diet and supplementation, fantastic, but if you only do one, you're going to do supplementation. And here's the interesting thing. Again, please, this is why your source is so important. There are these so-called health experts out there right now that are promoting, saying everything is Epstein-Barr virus, everything is this, everything comes from that. You have to be careful. They're saying the only type of zinc you should do is this. The only type of thing you should do is this. Be very, very careful of those people. Be very careful. They are more great marketers than anything else. In 2010, 2011, I started running omega-3 test scores. I was using the higher DHA to EPA supplement at that time. There are 2 main forms of omega-3s that clinically move your omega-3 levels. DHA and EPA. Typically, a supplement is higher in DHA than EPA, okay? People like that more. They say it's better anti-inflammatory, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I got to use everything. Krill oil, algae oil, higher DHA or higher EPA. Well, after running hundreds and then thousands, the 2-to-1 version of EPA to DHA beat them all. And then lo and behold, biochemically, EPA can convert to DHA very easily if needed. So we've been using at Equilife now a custom formulated product that's what? 2 to 2.5 to 1 EPA to DHA. Why? Because we knew more than a decade ago that this is what worked. Now, it's nice to see these studies start to come out, but keep in mind, clinical practice teaches practitioners what to do that actually works, because you can't be in clinical practice if you're not getting results. Nobody will want to work with you, right? Like, that's the thing. This is almost an exact 2 to 2.5 to 1 EPA to DHA. So you don't have to use the Equilife brand, but just go with what the research actually says works. 2 to 2.5 to 1 EPA, you can look in the label, to DHA. And that is what works best for most of the inflammatory-based issues, okay? And again, this is clinical research. I can't link to the one that we use, but you can find it at stephencabral.com/shop. You don't need to purchase it. Just look at the label. It's called Daily Omega-3 Support. Look at the label. It's for 2 soft gels, right? So if you want only half of that, which is almost the exact dosage in this study, you can just do 1 soft gel. Or you can do the liquid, all right? So again, I just want to share this with you because if you have a child or know of a child, or you're a teacher, you're a psychologist or a school nurse, this works. There have been books written for decades on how to help children with ADD and ADHD naturally. I could go on, but even just an omega-3 supplement, as easy as that, is going to work wonders. All right, so I'm going to keep it at that for today. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. The show notes are at stephencabral.com/2464, and I'll be back tomorrow answering our community's questions. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing weekend.